Knows Best.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna Berg. Hi, how are you guys? Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had the best weekend ever, and let's just get right into the stories. The first one is a little bit longer and honestly pretty straightforward in my opinion, but I thought it'd be still be good to talk about. And then a lot of the other ones are short and sweet, but a little bit different than we typically do, just like different stories, vibes, questions. I came across a Reddit thread that was called Legal Advice. I was like, I'm always trying to find the best of the best, and a lot of them get repetitive. And there's this thread called Best of Redditors Updates. And it's like the whole, you know how sometimes there's updates to previous stories? Like people can link, I don't know, it's a whole thing. But this page, Best of Redditors, it has a lot of members, I think is what you call it. And it just has like the full story, and it's always like the craziest ones. But there's a lot of repeats, and it's like really chaotic. But within this, I was looking there because I needed a few more. I saw a story and an update posted from, it'll say what page it comes from, which is probably how I found all of the pages. Like there's Am I the Asshole? But then there's like, Am I a Jerk? Am I in the Wrong? I have the relationship advice ones. Typically, I'm taking from Am I the Asshole and relationship advice. Is that what it's called? I don't know. They're all saved on my thing. But today, none of them were really doing it for me. And then I found this one that was like legal advice. There was one, and I wasn't going to go through it because it was actually pretty short. But like, for example, there was a girl asking for advice. She had gone on a date with a man, and they went to a nice restaurant, and she knew pretty early on that they weren't really vibing. Like it was fine, but she's like, I knew pretty immediately that it like, we're not going to go on a second date. Like she just wasn't feeling it, whether she wasn't attracted. I don't know. She didn't go into that much detail. But obviously, like, well, sometimes men don't get the hint, but he kept ordering like drinks and apps. And she was like, okay, well, he asked me on this date, like, I'm going to enjoy this. But at the end, he could tell that it wasn't, I don't know if he didn't think he was going to get laid, which is fucking crazy, or that the relationship was going to go anywhere. And he like demanded that she split it. And she's like, dude, you're the one, number one, who asked me on this date. But number two, like you kept ordering things. Like it wasn't like her being like, I want another martini. He kept doing it. And hello, like you are the man. And he like was making a scene, and she ended up leaving. She was like, I'll just Venmo you, like whatever. Like she got the frick out of there. Well, he's been blowing her up, and she's like, no, I'm not paying for that. Like it was like $250. The whole bill was like $500. It's like, dude, hello, like, yeah, that is crazy, but it's like he was the one who kept ordering. Or maybe he expected her to cover it total and it was $250. Regardless, he was asking her for $250, and then he was threatening to sue her. And she was on this page. She's 21 years old. She was like, I don't really know the law. Like, can he sue me? And of course, everybody's like, he's not going to sue you for $250. If he does, he's an idiot, because the legal fees associated with that is way more than the $250. Everybody was commenting saying just like block him obviously and move on, like nothing's gonna happen from that. But I'm like, dang. So like it seems at first I was like, legal advice, like this is gonna be some stupid bullshit, but it is kind of juicy because it's like suing people. It's like this family dynamic. It's this like, do I have legal action? This happened to me, you know. I don't know if there's actually attorneys in there answering or if it's just random people who think they know the law. But anywho, I found that page, and we might have one story from there. I'm not even sure how we got there. Okay, let's just begin. Am I wrong for staying at a girls' night after a guy friend joined us? I, 36 female, have been with my boyfriend, 36 male, for 3 years, and we've been friends for 15 years. We have always been part of the same small friend group, but he knows I have friends outside of that friend group that I've had for many years. He knows that we talk all the time, but we don't often have time to hang out with each other like we did when we were a lot younger. The entire time that he's known me, he knows I don't go out often at all. I'm a homebody. Our entire relationship together, the only times I have gone out with friends have been with him because it's usually events and special occasions with our friend group. Most of my personal friends are homebodies as well, and the rare get together is usually something for a big life stage like a housewarming or baby shower, and he's been there for those as well. If I do make it out to them, sometimes I don't. So recently, a close friend of mine decided to have a girls' night at her apartment. We haven't had a get together in over a decade like this, and she invited all our little crew of friends who are still local. This was going to be just at her place. We weren't going out anywhere. Just a bunch of drinks and catch-up talks, some girls doing makeovers, and we were playing music and watching movies, stuff like that. A few were staying the night. I was not. I'm not a sleepover type. I prefer my own bed and shower at the end of the night, so my boyfriend offered to drop me off and pick me up so I could drink and not have to worry about driving, and we could grab food together after. I love precious little boyfriend. I'm the same way. I'm too fucking old to be doing a sleepover. If it's in my town, like if the people are in the DFW area, maybe on the outskirts, I would think about it, but I would just rather come home. Like if I'm 30 minutes from my house, I'm just going to go home. Like, and here is the other thing. I'm always the person to leave first. I'm like, okay, after the shindig has taken off, after everything's going on, I'm like, nothing good. Isn't that a quote? Nothing good happens after midnight, or I don't know what the time is. Like, I'm a firm believer that nothing good happens after 10 p.m. Like, I'm not missing out. And I'm not one of those people that gets FOMO. Like, for example, I'm sure I've mentioned this. My friend Garrett has a lake house, and way back in the day, we would go out there and we would do this like 4th of July trip, and we would stay out there because it's like 2 hours east of Dallas, and they have like 3 homes on this compound, and there's plenty of room, and there's cooks and things. Like, it's a whole thing, and it's fun. It's just like a lake weekend with a bunch of us like 20-year-olds. I was always like, people would start drinking at 9 p.m. I'm going to bed, and every single night somebody would try and come get me to bring me out. I'm like, I don't give a shit. And also, nobody there, like, you guys don't give a shit about me. Like, you do, but you don't. Like, they're all trying to get me out because it's like funny. They're like, Brenda can't go to bed. But do they deeply need me there? No. Like, they're going to have just as much fun, if not more fun, without me there. Like, I'm always the first to go to bed. And I feel like I'm the same with the function, unless something is like going on and we're having a good time. But like, once I feel that the vibes are like, we're not enhancing, we're not going up from here, I'm getting the frick out of there. But don't get me wrong, of course, like a girls' weekend somewhere far away, love that. Would love to get a little Airbnb, hang out. Me and my best friend Natalie need to go on a trip, and we've been talking about it forever. However, anyways, I also love that this boyfriend offered to pick her up and get her, which is like a normal fucking thing to do. Like, that's not even that crazy. However, I love that he said that. Okay. And honestly, I am looking forward to that part of the evening the most. Oh, when he gets her and they go get food. I can't wait to be comfortable at home with my man and some stupid show on Buzz and devouring fast food together. Here's another thing, and cancel me left, right, and center. There's always a conversation, and I think it's just a difference in personalities, but I always see girls, like, it's a constant argument on social media, like the girls that like love being with their boyfriends or fiancés or husbands, and they like, I relate to that. And she's gonna have so much fun at the girls' night, and just like I do when I see my friends, like, I enjoy that so much and it feeds my soul. However, I do love coming home and being with Carter, and like, of course, if you're choosing to be with your partner 24/7 and you never do anything with your friends, like that I don't agree with, or you bail on your friends or that sort of thing, XXX, I don't agree with that. But like, when girls like enjoy being with their partners, I'm never going to shame them. Like, yeah, you like your partner. That's good. That should be your best friend. Like, you should also have friends, but I always see these TikToks and I'm like, oh, where girls are like shaming other girls for like essentially just like enjoying their boyfriend. And I'm like, again, if it gets to that point, and I think a lot of these girls are probably hurt from being bailed on by their friends, or like the girl choosing their boyfriend over them, which like you should never have to choose. I've talked about this before. It's like naturally, like when Natalie started dating Ryan, of course she's going to be spending more time with him. And if we were both single at the time, spending a lot of time together, yeah, it's going to get cut short. I get that. And like there are girls who just don't understand that. And they're like, and it's like, oh, you got to understand. Anywho, let's keep going. Here's the issue though. Her roommate is a man, and it's not just some man. He is a very close friend that we have all known since we were like 15 years old. He recently moved back into town and was renting her spare bedroom until he got a place of his own. He was not invited to girls' night, but he ended up staying and hanging out because we all know each other. We are all friends and go way back. He has never dated anybody present, and as far as I know, there has never been any kind of crossing the lines of friendship and sexual encounters with anyone. But it's not like I sat and asked for all that kind of detail. It's none of my business. I just know that nobody had ever brought that up to me, and I feel like we're all close enough that it would have come up in conversation at some point in the past if it did happen. Okay. She goes to girls' night. The girl who's having the girls' night at her home, has a guy roommate that they all know. They must have went to high school together, but he's never done anything with any of them. I don't know why I'm recapping this all for you. I think I'm more so doing it for myself. I'm not seeing the issue. I can tell you all right now that never at any point had there been any kind of romantic or sexual connection between me and this guy. Apparently, he had made plans to get out of the apartment and find something to do, but everybody was so excited to see him. Some of us actually didn't know he was staying with her at the time, and nobody wanted him to leave, me included. I was excited to see him, and I was not aware he was staying with her because it was still very recent. It's not like we all discuss every single aspect of our lives. And to be clear, this is a friend that my boyfriend is well aware of. He has hung out with us back when my boyfriend and I were just friends, and I had invited him and other friends to hang out that my other friend group with my boyfriend were at. He's not a stranger. Okay. I'm gathering what's happening. I got it. It's crystal clear. I never once even considered this would be a problem or something I needed to reach out to my boyfriend to tell him. Trust me, if I felt like it would have been weird for my boyfriend to know this guy was here, I would have immediately texted him and said, by the way, this dude is here, just to make it known. In my head, I'm just thinking another one of our friends is here and this poor guy has to put up with girls' night while we were doing nails and face masks and doing each other's hair while heavily intoxicated, and he had a great time. I'm absolutely dead, and the thing that makes this even more precious is that they're 36 years old. Like, these are just like mid-30s women like hanging out and having a girls' night. I love that. And I'm not seeing where the issue is, but I'm seeing where it's going to be. The problem was that when my boyfriend came to pick me up at around midnight, we invited him in and I was gathering my things, saying goodbye, and my boyfriend got really weird when our guy friend came up and said hello. Like, you could just immediately tell his energy was off about it. He said hello and greeted all my friends, but when he got to the car, he seemed extremely upset. I was telling him about all the stuff we were doing and how fun it was and how I really appreciated him for coming out and getting me, and he kind of just sat there with his jaw clenched, nodding. Oh, boo! Tomatoes. I understand being upset in a situation where things seem precarious, right? Like if he showed up and picked her up and only a guy was there, right? Or it was like one girl. Even still though, you know this guy and it's a friend and you guys are 36 years old. I think that jealousy, unless there are trust issues, which if there are trust issues, I think you should not be with that person. But I think if you are in a good and healthy relationship And as you age and get older, jealousy should expire in this sort of circumstance. Now, like if let's say Carter and I were out, which like we have literally never been to a bar together, but let's just say, and he went off to like go to the bathroom and he comes back and there's some guy like trying to chat me up and like clearly is flirting and like Carter gets a little jealous, right? Which like, I think that's on you to also shut down. I mean, again, this is a hypothetical situation, obviously. That makes sense to me potentially, right? Like, or same, I am in theory, not in actuality, but like jokingly jealous, right? If I came out of the bathroom and some girl was trying to hit up Carter, I'd be like, who the fuck is this bitch? Right? Back up. But like also I know that Carter would never do anything. It's like I don't know how to describe that. But if I went and picked Carter up and he was hanging out with the guys and there was one random girl there, like, okay, right, explain the scenario, and she is a friend of everybody's and she also lives at this place, like at 36 years old, again, I don't know how new this relationship is, but even still, like, I think that jealousy, I get if you've been hurt a lot, but like, please, it's valid in some scenarios where it's like warranted, but in this, it's not, in my opinion. I had to pry a little bit. He didn't want to talk about it at first, but then he told me that he thought this was supposed to be a girls' night and it was really inappropriate. We had a guy over and I didn't tell him. Like I was hiding the fact that he was there. I'm sorry, it's not really appropriate that there was a guy at their girls' night when they're 36 years old. No. And what is she supposed to like send a quick text? Like that to me would be so silly. Like if Carter were at like a poker night and there was, again, like let's say this scenario and he texts me like, hey, by the way, there's like this girl Becky here who's friend. Please, are we literally 15 years old? I hate to shame people, but like that's a little bit crazy. But maybe they just need to have this boundary, and something like this happens, you just give them a heads up and it'll be fine. I guess everybody's allowed to have their boundaries. Just start doing that. But this is the first time and this probably is never going to happen again, right? Like this is like so silly, but whatever, his feelings are valid. I'll give him a little bit of grace maybe. I told him I understood what he was saying, but I had no idea he would be there. And honestly, he wasn't supposed to be there. He's living in her spare room right now, and everybody was so excited to see him. And he just moved back to town literally this week, and everyone begged him to stay and hang out and catch up. And my boyfriend deadass said, even you were begging this guy to stay for girls' night and you don't see a problem with that? Insecure. I mean, I get kind of what he's saying, but like not really. Like it's an old friend. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, everybody was excited to see him. Like, who gives a shit? We're all drinking. We're doing face masks. He's a dude. Haven't they been together like 3 years? Wait, at first I wasn't sure. I have been with my boyfriend for 3 years. 3 years. Carter and I are at 2.5. Like, if we're having this kind of argument, oh my gosh. Maybe jokingly, right? Like, were you? No, not even. I'm sorry. What? I told him no, I genuinely didn't. He told me he was upset. I didn't let him know some guy was going to be there. And I was like, this wasn't just some guy. This guy is a part of our friend group that we've all known since we were in school. It's not like we're teenagers or young 20-somethings all getting wasted with some dude. We are all grown, nearly 40 years old. I think we're more than capable of behaving ourselves. And he said, well, if that was true, then he wouldn't have had to tell me that there's a problem here. Oh my gosh. No, I'm sorry. Absolutely not. Wait, really quickly, you guys. I have a sweet, precious little angel here in the room with me, and her tongue is completely out. And I'm really scared she's going to hear me talking. I'm like, I can't. Wait, let me zoom in. Sorry for this little quick intermission. Oh my gosh. Like, for real, he's being the child. I'm sorry, he is. I'm too old to be clueless about this and acting like this, and he expected better from me. He thinks I should have let him know immediately and have him pick me up. But even if I didn't do that, I should have at least let him know a guy was there and why, instead of him just walking into it and finding out that way. On one very small sliver, I hate, and I think most people feel this way, I do hate finding out about something, like not through my fiance, or like, you know, when you learn something and you feel like you should have been told, but like, again, this like wouldn't have even crossed my mind. Like, was it that serious that it was strictly a girls' night? Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not understanding, but what? He said if he didn't pick me up, he would have never known, and that's even worse. I told him I definitely would have brought it up when I got home, because it wasn't like I was hiding it and I didn't think it was a problem, and I would have definitely brought it up, what we were doing and who was there, just because I wanted to tell him about the fun time I was having. He drove right home and told me he was sleeping on the couch. Oh my gosh. Even the next morning, he was really cold and upset and seemed really annoyed that I didn't think I did something wrong here. I told him I now understand how he would prefer me to behave in the situation moving forward, and that if it ever happened again in the future, of course I would respect that and reach out to let him know what was going on. And he told me I sounded pretty ridiculous because I had the chance to do that last night and I didn't. And it's not like I do this very often. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So it's not like it's going to happen again. He told me, how would I feel if the roles were reversed? And I said, honestly, I wouldn't even care. It actually has been the case where he has gone to his guy friend's house, a guy's night where it's just the guys playing games or watching sports, and someone's wife or girlfriend was there, or someone brought a girl they knew from work or our friend group, and I've never once felt like that was an issue or worthy of a fight. And he thinks that's completely different, and I'm comparing apples to oranges. What? How is that literally any different? The only difference is that it's the guys' wives or girlfriends, potentially. Like, I could see that argument, but even still, it's like, nobody, what, you think I'm gonna cheat on you at girls' night with this guy I know from high school? We've been together in a relationship for 3 years. Like, oh, what do you think is going to happen? And kind of like a final nail in the coffin, he reached out to his guy friends, and they're in their group chat asking them if he's being crazy about this. And the way he worded it, it just seemed like he was trying to make it so they would agree with him. He told me that all of his friends agree with him, and any guy would expect that kind of behavior from his girlfriend. But in the chat, he said, am I crazy for thinking? It's real weird. My girl's going to a girls' night and I show up and there's a guy there. Oh my, literally, I cannot. Like, if I had to, this is one of the things that made like dating for me so easy. If a man acted like this, like, I cannot stand for the life of me a whiny man or like a insecure man. Like, that to me is immediately a turn off. I'm just like, ugh, please, literally, please. And again, if it's valid, if there are reasons for concern, totally valid. And I can understand that. But like, the second a guy is like, or clingy, oh, get the fuck away from me. I just hated that so much. I'm just like, please, let's be adults. Please, let's grow the fuck up. Oh my gosh, my girl's going to a girls' night and I show up and there's a guy there. Like, no details and no explaining it. He almost made it seem like I was just hanging out alone with some guy while telling him I had plans with the girls or something. There were, oh my gosh, of course. And anybody to their friends is going to, like, you know, maybe lie or fudge the details. Please, like, literally, please be so fucking for real. I honestly feel like we are way too old to be having these kinds of problems. Amen. I agree. This almost feels like something that wouldn't even happen in our 20s. And I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with what we were doing or how I handled it. I can understand that he expected me to let him know, and I was not aware of that. I didn't think it was necessary, but I respect that and understand it. But how can he be so mad I didn't just automatically know that in the moment? Was I really in the wrong? No. No, 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 no. Imagine you're 36 years old. Like, no, I'm sorry. I really want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I want to, again, be understanding of people's feelings, and maybe he has trust issues, but it sounds like, I don't know why, from a previous relationship. I'm not really sure. However, she is not in the wrong. And again, like, she told him, like, I'll adjust it for the future. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. Like, what else is she supposed to do? And also, at 36 years old, this is another thing that I'm having an issue with, to be texting your guy friends asking, like, am I valid to be wrong? This guy literally acts like a teenager. Like, if I'm 36 years old and my boyfriend or my fiance or my husband is texting in his guy's group chat, number one, I think I just said group chat. I don't think I do think that you should talk to your friends about, like, your relationship and your issues, and just, like, if something, like, I know a lot of people, this is another thing that I see, like, people think everything in the marriage should stay in the marriage. I'm not sure why I can't speak. Should, Brenna. And of course, there are some things that are crossing the line. Like, if there's a personal thing with your husband, yeah, I don't think you should be, like, expressing all of those details. But I do think there is something about, like, talking to your friend about, like, your feelings about something. Like, that's just normal friendship. And I think they can really help put things into perspective if they're a good friend and they would keep it to themselves. But to be texting in the group chat to, like, get confirmation, like, that to me is, like, different. It's like one thing if I'm meeting up with Natalie to talk about something, like, oh my gosh, Carter got upset about this, and, like, you know, just, like, kind of vent about it. Like, that's one thing. But to, like, me go to my friends, like, if Carter got mad, like, hey guys, like, Carter did this, like, what do you think? Like, that to me is also crazy at the grown age of 36. Like, again, that's something you do when you're a teenager. Yeah, no, I don't think she's in the wrong. And I think, and even if she was, like, it was a harmless mistake, and now she knows what to do in the future, and that's that. Okay, next. Oh my gosh, when I first read this title, I was like, wait, what? And I thought it was so interesting. Am I wrong for telling my boss that she's mispronouncing her baby's name? My boss, Jane, who is in her late 30s, has been trying to have a baby for years and recently succeeded and is due soon. Congrats to her, by the way. I'm sorry. Why are you saying that in the Reddit thread? I literally can't. She's been talking about what to name her daughter for months. So I walk into work Monday morning, and the first thing she says to me is that she's finally decided on a name for her daughter. I smile and ask, what? She tells me the name with great excitement. I don't want to say the actual name nor the inspiration of it out here, as I don't want to deal with the possibility of outing myself, or more importantly, my boss, but it sounds like a fairly common name, usually short for something like Liz is to Elizabeth. Okay, got it. I tell her that it's a pretty name. I then follow up with a question if that is short for another name like Elizabeth. She says no, it's just going to be that. I was just about to say even better when she added that it's after a very well-known publication. I was just about to say even better when she added that she's named after a very well-known publication. I'm raising an eyebrow in my mind at this point, as I feel like I know which one she's talking about. I ask her for the spelling, and she spells it out excitedly, adding, you know, after that famous, insert famous publication here that does XYZ. I didn't know how to communicate this in writing in a non-programming documentation type of way. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys in. Wait, maybe I should say it at the end. I feel like it's good for the context. Wait, let me just keep going. And then, because it'll make sense once you know the publication. It's a magazine, a very popular, well-known magazine website, so on and so forth. I think I was just very surprised to hear that, and I let her know gently that, well, that's not how the name was pronounced. She panicked and frantically searched online for the pronunciation of that particular publication on the spot. After about half a dozen or so of machine voices saying that name out loud, she looked like she was about to have a breakdown. She said she's so embarrassed because out of her excitement, she announced it to all of her family and friends, social media, and group chats alike over the weekend, including her inspiration, the publication. It's one thing because if she announced it over text and said this, after the publication, those people are going to understand the pronunciation and pronounce it not the way she's thinking. But if she told people over the phone, she's saying the wrong pronunciation, but they're hearing it and they're going to think it's, oh my gosh, now everybody thinks it's a different pronunciation. Oh my gosh. I asked what her husband thought of the name, but she said he didn't know how it was pronounced and was just going by her. I then broached the idea of changing the spelling to fit her pronunciation because it was obvious at this point that she was more taken to how her idea of the name sounded than it was written. But she said no to that quickly because she liked how it was written and how she pronounced it. I'm going to give you guys a little secret. It's Elle Magazine, Elle Decor. She's pronouncing it Ellie, is what I'm gathering. I looked at the comments down below and that's what people are speculating. So she got the inspiration from Elle Magazine, but she's pronouncing it Ellie. Elle is E-L-L-E and Ellie is obviously, either E-L-I, which I think is Eli, but E-L-L-I-E. But she doesn't want to change it. But it's like your child, again, it's like Brenna, which Brenna is different because Brenna is exactly how it's pronounced. She's going to get called on in school and they're going to say L because E-L-L-E, I think is L pretty much across the board, right? And she's going to have to tell everybody it's Ellie. Yeah, that's tough. It's been a few days since then, and I think she's still in panic mode about what to do with her daughter's name. Is she keeping it or looking for another? I have not asked about it since then. She's not lashing out at me per se, but she's been a bit distant, and I do feel a bit of resentment in her eyes. I'm hoping giving her room will just be the thing. At any rate, I was coming from sincerity, but in retrospect, I didn't have to be the one telling her. There's a lot of things that I'm feeling as a result of this faux pas. Is that how you pronounce that? Faux pas? I'd like to gain some perspective here as I feel like it'd help a lot in navigating next steps. So, am I wrong here, guys? No. You were just pointing out, like, if somebody came to me, that's actually so wrong because I would rather do anything than make somebody feel stupid. I'd be like, oh, but like, it's like if somebody came to you and they're like, yeah, I'm naming my daughter after Ellie, like the magazine. And maybe I just would think that's a magazine I've never heard of. But like, if I did know that she meant Elle, I probably would just be like, isn't it pronounced Elle? Like I thought it was Elle, and just be like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Right? And then let them do the research on their own or not say anything at all. It was probably going to, it's honestly helpful. I think that you did tell her because she can figure out how she wants to spell it or if she wants to change it. I get that she told people, but like, who gives a fuck? Send out the text, say, and also, why are you posting your baby's name on social media? I guess maybe that's commonplace, but like what you just made a random post before the baby's due saying, her name's gonna be Ellie. Like what? Okay, Brenna, don't judge. However, I think that it's good that she knows. I think that it is good, but don't be shocked if she feels some type of way because not that you actually crushed her hopes and dreams, but it's like she really just kind of fucked up. Okay, next. Will I be the asshole if I countersue for what I consider an accident for the cake this other woman's daughter wrecked after she ran into me? In the middle of June, I had just picked up a custom chocolate cake from a bakery that cost $65. On my way back to the car, a woman and her 2 kids were coming out of a church across the street where a wedding was taking place. I crossed at a crosswalk about half a block from the church. I saw the mother telling her little girl, maybe 4 or 5 years old and dressed in a very nice white dress, to stop jumping around and stay still. The girl didn't listen. She ran off laughing and looking backward instead of paying attention and ran straight into me. I dropped the cake and it hit the ground on impact. Chocolate went everywhere, on the pavement, on me, and all over the little girl's dress. Oh, that's 100% the little girl's wrongdoing. And I understand she's a little girl, but that's on the little girl. Just right out the gates. But also, if you saw this little girl, unless she was going at the speed of light, couldn't you have dodged her? Like, clearly you were paying attention. If you saw her coming at you, looking back, like, could you not have moved out of the way? Unless you were on a busy street. But I don't know. I'm not going to blame her because the little girl is in the wrong, but I do feel like if I were in that instance, I've seen people, I've almost been ran into in general, not holding a cake, and I move out of the way, even though it's annoying, but like, you see it coming typically. That's all I'm going to say. The mother came running, screaming at me. There were at least 2 people behind me and another woman on the church property who saw it happen. The mother kept yelling that I had ruined her daughter's dress and that I owed her money for a new one and that I needed to give her cash so she could buy a replacement before the ceremony. Whoa, hold up. That is a crazy reaction. Your daughter ran into this woman because she wasn't paying attention. The fact that you don't immediately apologize is a little bit baffling. I get she's a little girl, but like, to scream at this girl who was literally just walking, holding her cake, that's kind of crazy. Maybe not kind of, that's a lot crazy. I told her it was an accident. Her daughter ran into me and I wasn't paying for it. And also, this girl's cake that she paid $65 for fell and broke. She's going to have to buy a new cake. Anywho, she kept screaming profanity loud enough that someone called the police. Oh my gosh, this woman is clearly deranged. When officers arrived, she tried to claim I threw the cake on her daughter and should pay for the dress. Who would throw a cake on a little girl? I'm so sorry. Wait, what? She's just lying to the police? But another witness confirmed what really happened. The mother had told the girl to stop running. The girl ignored her, and then she crashed into me, causing the cake to fall. The woman still wouldn't calm down until the police nearly arrested her. And then only after her relatives came out of the church to help, she still demanded reimbursement and threatened to sue me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And also, this is clearly somebody's special day. Like, why are you acting so crazy? Calm down. Like, literally just calm down. At the time, no one exchanged information, but somehow she found out my name and address. Later, I learned someone had filmed the whole thing and the video got back to me. Sure enough, she served me with papers. She's suing me for $3,000 for a new dress, assault, and emotional distress. Wait, what? This is a crazy escalation of a situation. Would I be the asshole if I countersued for the cost of the cake her daughter ruined because of her poor parenting? Honestly, I'm not too worried about winning or losing since I have video evidence and multiple witnesses showing it was an accident and her child caused it. Okay, and then also there's an update because there must be people in the comments confused, which I'm not sure what you're confused about. Wait, let me answer first of all. I mean, if you want to bother and countersue, go ahead and do it. If you just want to be petty, I mean, pop off. Also, that's literally insane. Can you imagine getting sued for $3,000 because a little girl ran into you and you dropped a cake and it spilled on her and emotional distress? That woman needs therapy. Like, her reaction was insane. Okay, let me do the updates. The cake was in a box with a lid, but when it hit the ground, it opened and exploded. It was a soft cake with a lot of chocolate icing, so it got all over my pants and the bottom of the little girl's dress. It was enough that it was really noticeable. To clarify, I'm not mad at the little girl. I'm just completely gobsmacked by how her mother handled the situation. She could have taken some accountability, apologized, or even made it a learning opportunity for her child. Something as simple as, this is why when I tell you to stop running and listen, because now your dress is soiled for the wedding. But instead, she threw a fit and accused everyone else of her own poor parenting, and it escalated to the point where the police were called. After embarrassing herself and almost getting arrested, she still managed to act like the victim. She could have just let it go and moved on. No, I agree 100%. It has nothing to do with the little girl, and that woman never even honestly talked shit about the little girl, which she could have, but it's like the reaction out of the grown woman. For those wondering how she got my name and address, I don't live in a highly populated area. I'm on social media, and the video of the incident was sent to me by someone I didn't even know. Someone she knew must have recognized me. Once you have a name, finding an address isn't difficult. She even had a processor serve me. I haven't had any contact with her in any way since the incident. I'm also surprised by how many people believe you need a lawyer to file in small claims court. All I have to pay to countersue is $100. From what I've read, I technically can claim lost wages, but they won't be granted. Realistically, the most I'd get back is my filing fee and the cost of replacing the cake. Some people have also said I should have been able to prevent the accident because I saw them before I crossed the street. That's true. I did see them, but the little girl was on the grass the entire time. At no point did she step into the sidewalk until the moment of impact. I'm not psychic, and there was no way I could have predicted she would suddenly run off the grass and straight into me. It all happened in literal seconds. Okay. I'm glad we got clarification because I was also curious. Again, I wasn't blaming her. I was just saying, like, I feel like you would have saw. Another update. Tomorrow, I'm going down to file my counterclaim as today is a holiday. This literally just happened. I spent the better part of a few days researching, and I think I'm going to ask for 1 plus my filing fee and take a page out of celebrities who have been wrongfully sued for stuff to prove a point. I don't want to look petty, but I sure want the judge to rip that woman a new one for bringing this frivolous incident to court. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, well, here's the thing. She has to deal with the being sued. I have no idea how that works, but it's like, yeah, I would do it too. If this woman literally went out of her way to sue her for $3,000, $100, I'm not really that petty, but like in a different world, I would do the same thing, and I completely approve. Okay, next. And this is a good one. This is a mother-in-law one, which I always love. Am I the asshole for not letting the mother-in-law into the birth suite? I'm a new midwife, and last week I had a young couple come in. They look to be in their early 20s and in active labor. The woman, we'll call her Elle, still had hours to go, and she looked visibly stressed, so I spent a lot of time comforting her and talking her through everything. She was really sweet to me, even through contractions. Her partner, we'll call him C, on the other hand, was rude and kept snapping at me. He wasn't giving Elle any support or encouragement and was just sitting in a chair on his phone. Usually I try to give people the benefit of the doubt because having a baby is an intense and a life-changing experience. Later on, when Elle was in the hardest part of labor, I was told that her mother-in-law had arrived at the hospital and was insisting on being present for the birth. I went into the room and asked Elle and C if they wanted her in the room. Elle refused, but C wanted to. The girl did not. The mother of the child did not want her mother-in-law in there, but of course the man did. Ah! I believe that having a baby is a joint decision. However, when it comes to anything having to do with the pregnancy or the birth, that is the woman's choice. And here's the thing, a loving husband would want that, would agree to anything the wife wants for pregnancy, labor, and post-labor, post-birth. I just think that's like a normal reaction to have. And a man who, and I hate to like bring it here, but when I talk about a man putting another girl's feelings above yours, like the small things like in dating, whatever the thing is, this is what it looks like on a grand scale, on a big scale. It's him putting his mother's feelings above yours. He literally just heard his wife say no, and he wants her in because his mom wants in. That is fucked up and crazy, and that tells me everything I need to know. Oh my gosh. They started arguing, and Elle was clearly upset. This woman is giving birth. Like, ow! I literally can't. And I overheard that she said she hadn't even known the mother-in-law was coming and had always planned for it to just be her and him in the room. C said he knew his mother was coming and assumed Elle would be fine with it because the baby was just as much his mother's as it is ours. No, it's not. I cannot for the life of me understand grandparents who think a child, their grandchild, is just as much theirs as it is their child. That to me, I don't know if I have some really weird, skewed, fucked up way of looking at grandchildren versus just children of the parents. That child is not just as much your mom's. That sort of behavior and entitlement to me just I've already told Carter that I know women need help when they give birth, but I don't even want my parents there, and I don't want his parents when I have children and for a few weeks after. I already know that's how I'm going to be because I just want Carter, and that is all. Other people to me are annoying and bothersome more so than they are helpful or easing, making me feel better. And again, everybody's going to be different. Some people have really close relationships with their parents, and not to say I don't, but in a situation like that, I, number one, during the birth would not want anybody else besides obviously the doctors and nurses and my husband. And number two, post-birth, I don't even know what I'm gonna feel like the week after, 2 weeks. I don't want to be bombarded by people. This is my child. Yes, I understand you were the grandparents, but wait a fucking second. I already know that's gonna be my rules. No, I need to figure out what this is like. I want to spend time with my baby. You don't just come in here and go no. Can you tell I have strong feelings about this? I just nothing seems more annoying to me. Come in a month, maybe, whenever I feel is necessary. But how am I gonna know? And maybe I give birth and a day after I'm oh my gosh, I hope I need somebody to come and help me. That's fine too. But let me say that. Give me the choice. Don't just show up. Don't think that you're going to be there. No. And if you do show up and didn't speak to me about it, I'm literally locking you out. I don't give a shit. I will do anything to protect myself and my child and my feelings around the matter. That's my child. I already know I'm going to be so possessive, but I don't know how people think that they're entitled to just doing whatever with somebody's child. What? No. I'm sorry. No. By that time, Elle was crying. All of this, by the way, happening while she's 6 to 8 centimeters dilated, so in severe pain. Oh my gosh. How dare this man for even just causing her a little bit of distress? That's the other thing. Like, this is clearly, I can just say without a shadow of a doubt, a bad relationship. And not because of her, but because of him. Like, this is not a good man. Like, how is your wife, girlfriend, whatever the scenario is, I guess mother-in-law, married, how is your wife giving birth right now and you're thinking about anything other than the health and safety and well-being of your wife? Like, that not being the reaction from a man is disgusting to me. Literally disgusting. Oh, I was trying to comfort her and she kept insisting she was being ridiculous. I wasn't sure what to do because I'd never been in a situation like this yet, because she's a new midwife. I ended up not letting the mother-in-law in because I figured that Elle was the one giving birth and that the mother-in-law could still see the baby after the birth. After the birth, mother-in-law and C yelled at me for meddling into their family business, and C accused me of manipulating Elle into not wanting the mother-in-law in the room. Am I the asshole? This poor woman just gave birth and now has to deal with family drama. Oh my gosh. I literally saw a TikTok yesterday and it was like, how come when I'm planning my wedding, my family and my fiance's family want to act out the most? And then it was comments talking about how, like, during a wedding or like planning of a wedding, and then when you give birth is when your family starts acting fucking crazy. And that's why I'm saying, and this is why I'm actually knowing the rules of my birth. This literally was on my brain yesterday because I'm like, if anybody tries to act fucking crazy, you're done. You're cut off. Like, I literally don't care. The only thing I'm going to care about when pregnant and giving birth and having a child is me, Carter, and my child. I don't give a shit, even my own parents. Sorry. This is me. This is my baby. This is my family. Like, I don't understand. And I cannot understand for the life of me having that reaction to somebody else's situation. Like, it's like when my brother got married, like, whatever he wanted done, it's your wedding. I don't give a singular shit. It's not my stuff. Like, I don't understand how. And grown adults, that's what's like always so upsetting to me. I know I go into this every time, but like mother-in-laws, like when they do crazy shit, I'm like, how are you so? And that's what people were saying in the comments. It's like, you realize the family dynamics and how parents need control. And that's where a lot of this comes from. Like, moms had control of their family from the kids being 0 to 18, and then it's like they go off to college and obviously they get a spouse and they're married, and the mom still wants control over their child because that's what it was. And I get that for 18 years, not that it should be that way. Like, I don't think control is like a word I want to use. Like, I don't want to have control over my kids, but a lot of women or parents do. Like, they fucking live off of that, like having control over somebody. And which is another thing. And I think that those people shouldn't even have had children in the first place. I think they did it for the wrong reasons, but you catch my drift. But it's like, that's why in these moments, it's like when a woman and their daughter or son is planning a wedding, like, they want to be so involved because they've always been involved in everything that happens with their child. But it's like, no, now this person has a partner and their own family and they're doing stuff with them. And then when they feel like they're on the outskirts, it like makes them act up. And I just like cannot understand. I like literally cannot understand. No, you are not the asshole at all. You should, especially because she's the patient, really. Like, I understand it's two people. Like, I believe that, you know, it's their baby, but like, she's giving birth, obviously. What she wants goes, period. The pregnant woman, the person giving birth, that woman gets the say no matter what. And like, it already was a stressful situation while this woman was literally in labor. Like, how fucked up, like that pregnancy, that birth, ruined. Ew, I hate everything about that. Okay, next. Okay, last story. We'll keep this quick, but this one's insane and I would literally lose my mind. Is it bad that I, 23 female, don't want to name my daughter after my fiance's 27 male dead girlfriend. I, 23 female, met my fiance, 27 male, when I was 19 in college 4 years ago. I am currently 7 months pregnant. We are having a planned pregnancy and our daughter is due in October. I love that she disclosed it's a planned pregnancy because who gives a shit? My fiance had a high school sweetheart who he dated since freshman year till his sophomore year in college. She died due to breast cancer. I never knew her, but in the beginning of our relationship, he never failed to mention how she was a beautiful person. He has admitted to me that he always wanted to marry her and imagined them having kids. He loves me so very much and has always been a great partner. That right there, now I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, but even that is kind of a tough pill to swallow. And I'm probably being jealous and not very kind, but like, I just feel even if you felt that, maybe you don't have to say that to your partner. I guess if it's true, it's true, but she must have passed while they were in a relationship. That's obviously so sad. And she was so young to die of breast cancer. I'm guessing she was young. Like, that's heartbreaking, all of it. Like, I'm not negating that fact, but that would be a hard shoe to follow. That is certainly not the phrase, but you know what I mean? Like, he is romanticizing, which maybe she was great and wonderful and maybe they would have gotten married and had kids, but I think also he's probably romanticizing a lot because you're not going to say horrible things about a person who has passed, obviously, but like, imagine being the new girlfriend and like wanting to marry somebody and that is the love of your life and they're essentially telling you that like that person, it's similar to that the tattoo story when she said Forever Bryant's. It's like so similar to that. Like, I understand it and that is so hard and I cannot imagine like losing somebody and like somebody you thought you were going to marry. I get that, but like that's an incredible amount of pressure or just like, I don't know. And maybe it wouldn't be stressful, but like if Carter had a past girlfriend that passed away and he said he was going to marry her and like all of this, it would just be really hard, kind of. I mean, it's not like he can get married to her. It's not like a jealousy thing, but like that's just kind of a hard pill to swallow. Am I wrong for thinking that out loud? I feel like this is like a scary thing to say. I feel like I'm saying the thing that everybody's thinking but wouldn't say. Are you thinking the same thing or am I just a cold bitch? Maybe I am, but let's keep going. Recently, we were on the topic of baby names. I am mixed. Ivorian, Ivorian, and Brazilian, and my fiance is from Costa Rica. I took a liking to the name Antonia, but was definitely open to other options. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Antonia, Antonia, I think. He suggested we name our daughter after his dead girlfriend. Not a middle name, not a Gracie Ann kind of thing where you have two names, but her first name. His ex's name is very unique and not something common where it could be nicknamed different or not be directly a tribute to her. I believe her name is a cultural name as well, and neither of us are from that culture. I told him I'd be fine with it being her middle name or a nickname even, but he told me he really wanted to make her name his ex's. I would like to make it clear I have nothing against the idea of naming kids after lost loved ones, but just not my first baby. I have a strong feeling that our daughter is going to look just like me, which will make it more awkward. Well, yeah, it's your daughter. Oh my gosh. He just came home from work and is in a really good mood. I feel tense writing this next to him. Oh, no, I mean, he has to understand. he has to understand number one, naming your child is going to be a co-ed effort or a co-op effort. It's going to be the both of you both decide that, regardless if he came at you with Susanna that has nothing, like even if you didn't like Susanna that was related to nothing, you have that say. But he also cannot be ignorant to the fact that, like, why would you want to name your first child after his dead ex-girlfriend? I mean, like, it seems so insensitive to say, but I don't think it's that crazy to say. I get that, and that's hard. And with the cultural things, it's not like her name was Bethany either, which even still, if it was Bethany, she can feel like she doesn't want to name her child. Like, her feelings are valid. That's really hard, and you're just gonna have to reiterate and say that's not happening. That's really hard, because it's not really hard. It's really simple, actually. It should be no problem, and surely he can understand. And again, like a middle name, sure, do that. And that's even kind of you to do that. I don't even know if I would want to do that. Like, names are a personal thing. And yeah, no, I don't think you're in the wrong. And also, like, your daughter is going to be her own human being. Like, is he going to tell her, like, yep, you're named after my dead ex-girlfriend? Like, this little girl's going to be like, what the fuck, you're my mom and dad. Not like it'll be that big of a deal, but you know what I mean? Like, if my name, like, if I were my dad's dead ex-girlfriend from high school, like, it's fine, but it's like, this is going to be this girl's identity. Like, this is going to be, you take on your name. Right? Like, I don't know. That's weird. I think even the middle name, like, I don't know. There's other ways you can still keep her memory alive. Go to her gravesite, like, do whatever you need to do. But, like, this is a separate thing. And it's also your wife. Well, they're not married yet, but your girlfriend's daughter. Like, I would never push that on to Carter. Like, if I were in this scenario, like, yeah, I could understand why Carter wouldn't want that. And, like, I don't think I'd want that. Like, you got to move on. And it seems so harsh. And again, you can do a tribute of sorts. I don't want to be so cold, but it's also like, you're going to have a whole life. Like, this is going to be a whole ass human. Right? Yeah, no, she's not the asshole, but that is an insanely tricky situation. I feel like I'm ending on like a sad note, but that's all I have, you guys. I thought that was crazy. Can you imagine? Oi, 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 oi. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, happy Monday. I hope you have the best week ever, and I will see you on Friday. Okay, bye guys.